Okay. So I'm feeling that Juice Wrld is talking here. I feel like, to me, about the night of his passing, and I feel like this Four of Cups is, he's distracted, he's not paying attention fully, and I feel like this is a certain kind of disregard. And I feel like it's a certain numbness to the success, I think, that was that he was on the brink of, is what I'm getting here. That he was just about ready, he would have, according to the cards, had great success. But it looks like, to me, with this card, he was stopped short quite of that. There's some displeasure that he was not able to succeed in the way that he wanted to. And I'm sure was in the process of trying to do when his death occurred at Chicago's Midway Airport. He's talking about the heart attack. This can be the illness, but it also, if somebody's passed, it can be a connection to the heart, or the arteries. For me, the Three of Swords. I also feel like he feels that somebody was overreaching that night, also in their efforts, that caused him to pass. And I think this would probably be in reference to whoever alerted the authorities to the fact that there were firearms on board. Boozy Badass is another rapper who says that he believes that the pilot didn't like it and made the phone call, and that, you know, Juice was really young and panicked and took too many of these Percocet that he had, and that's induced a seizure. Just for background information. Now here it looks like he's wanting to acknowledge connection and communication, that he's trying to connect, I feel like, to his mother. This is the Empress, the mother figure. And I feel like his passing and the fact that she's been very open about the fact she wanted people to know, she didn't want it hidden, that he passed because he overdosed. She wanted people, you know, to learn better from his passing. At least that. And that shows up here. That he passed before he could have this success with the world, and the Six of Wands, the victory. And I think it just ended prematurely. And this, to me, is like he's just bummed, you know, bummed about that. And not happy that it happened. He, you know, definitely has regret that in panic he made a very poor choice that caused his life. And just also the poor choices of what was going on that night to begin with, I believe. Interesting, we go from the Two to the Three of Wands here that he's talking. It goes more extensive. He wants to talk more, going more deeply into the situation here. There's something that his mother is fighting for, it looks like. I know that she had to, I did catch an article that says that she caught some sort of copyright because she's, you know, directing his estate. And that could be what this is going on. There could be a further activity with this. And I feel like he's also here acknowledging how strong his mother is. Given his death and the battle that she's had. Because it shows here, and I think this could be copyright and other things, problems that have been kicked up and she's had to deal with it. And it shows into the future that she's still dealing or fighting some issue. Maybe it's this copyright thing, unless it's been settled. There is something because of the death here. That isn't clear. And there is some fighting. Could be the collaboration here, too, with the Two of Wands. And I know that there was some kind of, I think it was some kind of, I don't know exactly what it was at this point. Maybe it was a collaboration, but it was some kind of copyright thing. And it looks like here there is the two together, and then I feel like something develops further on with this creative effort here with this 3 that's being fought over with the 5 of Wands. And the moon says it's murky, it's not quite clear who is the, I think with the magician, the writer or the communicator, the creator of the work at hand. That totally makes sense. So I think this is speaking to, he is speaking about his mother and enduring this copyright claim, and the fact that it really is a murky situation that needs to be clarified, and that will have to probably, you know, continue to be dealt with into the near future. And this is the 9 of Wands falling under the 3, which shows that it's just really oppressive that she's having to guard, I think he's wanting to talk about his mother having to guard his estate, his turf, his what he has from people that are trying to reach out and take it, end it. And I feel like he's saying here his mother, since his birth, not his birth, his death, is having to deal with fighting some battles on his behalf here of copyright, definitely. I feel like creative work. And with that, I know that for a fact as the news shows. It's interesting that it does come up in the cards. Hopefully it won't be another issue. But it looks like here they're still fighting over it, and there's a real lack of clarity being able to discern the original composer or creator connected to, I think, what is being fought over. So here we have the Ace of Wands, the creative work, and here's the defense. So I think that she will continue to defend her son as the creator, original source, with that Ace of Wands, because that is the beginning, the creative card, the creative fire, like writing and painting and all those, you know, creative means. And this is highly creative. That shows that it's, I think it's the copyright kind of stuff. And she is left to defend because he's not here to defend himself. And I feel like there are wolves. There really are, you know, Not everyone, perhaps, but I feel like there's a lot of, it's harsh. There's a lot of people that I think making things very difficult for this woman. Not only has she lost her son, but I feel like she has been in perpetual litigation and battling copyright laws and having to prove things. And it looks like she will defend and keep it. There's a lot of nostalgia, and we're looking to the past here, and we're looking at childhood as well, potentially, with the Page of Wands, this created thing. I think she's, and he's also talking about back to his childhood, and I feel like he's indicating she has always been there for him and encouraged him in his creative pursuits even as a child. I feel like she made him, encouraged him, and I think he's giving great love, great appreciation, and acknowledgement for what she is doing. This is the Chariot and the Page of Swords, and this is about success and watchfulness. I think it may mean that here's the law, and it stays within the family, within her family and his estate. I feel like she will get a good verdict or a good outcome legally for him. It just feels like this attempt to go after them for the other people going after them for creative license of some kind, I think, are going to find that they might be short of the stick here at the end of the day. I feel like he is trying to indicate, if that hasn't already been sorted out, or if another thing should come up, I feel like he's saying it's sorted. It is going to stay with the family, and he's very appreciative, again, of his mother looking out for him. I think he's very regretful, again, of the way he passed and the panicking and the, taking what he did and not perhaps thinking things out so well and making some poor choices about the drugs on board and the guns on board. I do believe that he's regretful. But I think he's also indicating that this was not completely done without somebody else's problems in alerting. But, I think he takes full responsibility here and realizes that, and is definitely very regretful that he didn't use better sense with the Strength card. That is your wisdom over your impulse and your panic and your, whether it's to reach out and punch somebody in the nose or to take too many tablets. In looking at his chart, he does not have one of, and his Mars is, I think, Libra. So he's not, he let me know I'm a lover, not a fighter. And so I got a feel for him that was not meaning to, he wasn't out to hurt anybody. And the decision he made ultimately ended up costing him his life. It was a sudden impulse and out of panic. I think we understand that. But I think he really, really finds it important that we know that he is regretful. Let me just use this other deck real quick, and I'm just going to pull some clarifiers. Is there anything more that Juice Wrld would like to share? He feels like he's abandoned his mother with his responsibilities, things that he should have dealt with. The Eight of Cups, I get that. Yeah, this is his work and his work with other people and the business that he was in. And I feel like he feels guilty that he abandoned her to deal with his stuff. So he's still talking. He's not done talking about his mom. And the Six of Cups, we got it again. Again, the past, a lot of love and nostalgia, I think, toward his mother. Good feelings, like just the best. Like he really respects and appreciates her love and her efforts. And this is over time. This is the Wheel of Fortune. And this speaks about the past and the present and the future. And that they have this bond. And I feel like they have been, very close, I think, in other lifetimes even. But there's a very, very close, very emotionally connected family love for his mom. And look at that. It's so sweet and childlike and thus nostalgic. It's milk and cookies. It really is. It's just such a sweet feeling that I'm getting for her, giving him life and seeing him through, and his passing, and this whole change, this whole wheel of life of his that came and played out. The Nine of Swords, and this is worry and anxiety about success or travel. Let's just see what else we get. The Ace of Wands. And I feel like this is something that extends or goes further out into the future. And it could be a creative, again, her worry about this or any lawsuits that are connected to his estate and to his creative source. I think he's trying to say, don't worry, it's going to be okay. You're going to again succeed with the Chariot, but after a great deal of worry and sleepless nights, And this has to do with things that extend into the future. And it was the beginning of a creative effort of some kind, it looks like, or to connect there. Look there, there's also the Ace of Swords, which there is some kind of clarification he's saying will come, where I think perhaps this is the copyright law with the Page of Pentacles. And it shows there's been a great deal of stress put on, and there is, I feel like, help, or there is sharing, I feel like there is help given. So for his mother, that there will be help. I think she's scared that he's wanting to address her, and I think her stress in trying to get this resolved. And I think he's trying to reassure her, and that he's really sorry she's going through this. Two of Wands, again, he did use that. Again, these were two cards that he used earlier. His connections to, I believe, his mom, looking out for him like she always did, and he's very grateful. He's really sorry she's having to deal with this. And he's looking for those that he was connected to, that had goodwill toward him, to help her in the future in connection with this. Those that can, I think. there's acknowledgement nonetheless of a connection and communication. I think also emotionally, that she'd be able to feel his feelings and he could feel hers, and just energetically of being able to feel someone's energy. I'm feeling like he's just indicating that he and his mom were just so close. They were just entwined. And I get he feels so guilty also about her having to help him since he's not here. There is a King of Wands, and this guy came up in another reading I did here, I think with the other deck. And we're dealing, this is the one that had, I think, drugs and maybe other contraband on board. I think there's a connection here to somebody, this man and the substance. Now, let's see what he wants to say. Ten of Pentacles. Wanting to make, I feel like, a lot of money. And there was some kind of change that was being made with regard to how something was going to I think, be distributed, or I don't know, something along those lines. And this to me is speaking about, I think, probably the 70 pounds of marijuana that were on board. We do have a 7 here, and these are pentacles. Could it be 70? You know, I don't know. I read that it was, or heard that it was 70, but I'm not sure. And again, he's saying he was foolish for that, because that was just dumb. And he's letting us know that people may have even warned him, tried to warn him, and he may have even thought better of it for a moment and then pushed it aside, thought, nah, be fine, and went ahead and figured he'd be okay. But he's saying he thought foolishly he'd be fine. And instead he was exposed to the law. In my opinion, this is an authority being contacted or exposed. And here's the 5 of Pentacles. This is when his health starts to slide, and everything is, including his career, is slipping out underneath of him. I feel like he's addressing that. That made him lose what could have been a tremendous success. And for the poor use of judgment, being under the influence, I don't know if he was outside when he had the seizure. I kind of wonder. Or was he indoors? Had they brought him indoors? That doesn't really matter at the end of the day. The thing is, he's indicating that he lost out on having success because of making making not just one, but a few foolish choices. And he really wants to get that through to people, especially his fans, apparently. Very much so. So much so, he's said it through 2 different decks of cards. Queen of Wands. Oops. And Justice. I think, again, this is a nod to his mother, quite possibly. Or that there's going to be justice and things will go in a better direction. That it's been really choppy, he's saying. It's been really stressful for her since his passing. And it's finally going to start to go out of that into a smoother phase for her, I believe. I think she will have some favorable outcomes legally. And things will begin to settle down. Yeah, and I feel like financially, we have the King and the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress and the Knight of Wands. I feel like she will be able to work with other people to make his estate and I'm sure what he has marketable, not to be cold-hearted, but that's how estates have to make money. That That would be through the use of his images, lyrics, etc. And I see her being able to then generate income. And for his mother, there she is, also with the Empress card, moving energetically forward and not being dragged down, and in a much stronger position. So I feel like his mom is going to see things go in a better direction. And again, he wants to indicate that if you're too messed up, you can't make good decisions. Your decisions get impaired. And I really feel like he wants to address that impairment and poor choice, less than stellar choices that he made. He just also, I think, didn't know how to say no, and felt kind of obligated, kind of trapped. There's a feeling of that. The World and the Hangman. Now he sees things from a different light, and now he sees actually success, the end of his life, what his life meant, from a very different perspective, and he's enlightened. And he has suffered the loss of not being able to reach success because of his choices, but he's also learned tremendously, he's indicating here, from his life, and will continue to learn from his life as Juice Wrld. And he bids us peace. He bids us peace, and he wants people to be careful and be much more reflective, much more. I'm getting the word. I just heard. I feel like I heard a male voice say meditation. He wants his fans, I think, and stuff also to look to alternatives, better coping mechanisms here than he did. Because he feels really like a clown, is what I'm getting from him for doing that. He feels like, my God, what was I thinking? That just was not, I feel like he feels like the difference between where he would have been now, had he not made that choice then. I think it's super regretful, I think, because he would have been very, very, very successful. And so I think, his is a cautionary tale. But I think he offers it up with no strings, with unconditional love. He has a very, actually, despite whatever all his faults may have been in life, I feel like when you take that away and you leave what is the spirit and what is the essence of him, there is pure, thoughtful consideration that he's giving these choices that he made. And I feel like he just really wants to encourage his fans to make better choices and to think of him when they're in a situation, and remember how important it is to stand up for yourself, and not to allow people to maybe manipulate you into guilt or to make you feel like you're obligated. Definitely that. I definitely get that message. And I think it's beautiful that he offers peace, and that he is at peace now. He is at peace, but he's very sorry. He's like, look at what my mom is having to go through, you guys. So don't follow the footsteps of what I did. That is what not to do. And it's very clear. He wants to impress that. Yeah. He realizes now how much it hurt his mother, how sad, and he does love. I get it. Yeah, I'm getting from him. I do love my fans. I miss them, but he is also aware of the sentiment that we send him, and his family sends him. There is an enhanced understanding. He is with greater awareness now. with judgment. And he's looked back at his life, and he's looked at it, and there's things that were hard, I think, for him, he's saying, to look at. And especially where he feels like he let people down, and I think especially his mom. And he's like, you may not see, there's some playfulness here. You may not see me, but I'm rising in power. I'm doing better. He's like saying he's stealthy now, and I feel like he's trying. It's interesting. He's like telling me a little about what it's like, you know, on the other side. Knight of Pentacles, King of Cups. I feel like there's somebody that he also extends and acknowledges handling, I think, his music with the King of Cups. There's a King of Cups. I feel like this could be somebody that might help with his extra tracks and things like that. He's just talking about the need for people to grow beyond wanting just money, and the need also to have a healthy spiritual part of yourself to guide you, so you don't get pulled. It's one safeguard, I think he's trying to say here, between the Hermit and that Four of Pentacles, the lure of money, you know, and fame and power. And this is the much more free Hermit that is more open and isn't clinging to things. The Hermit is very minimalistic. So I think he's talking about materialism, and that success is more than that. And if you don't have some kind of spiritual guidance in, you can become very stuck and stubborn in one, seeing your life through the angle of material success. All right, so I'm going to leave it there because I got about 15 minutes now to get onto a live, and I feel like he's done. So if you enjoy this content, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.